Okay, to finish hooking these doors up, we're going to take pliers and grab one of those little blocks that we've made, and we're just going to stick one of the track nails here through one hole. Just lightly push it in there a little bit, and then we're going to stick the other one in the opposite hole. Just like so. Make sure that the crank arm is 90 degrees there. You can see I've already got one hooked up here. And what you do is turn the crank fully closed, and then adjust one door so it just barely touches this door. Even a slight gap is better than having it pull any tension on that. You'll just end up breaking these joints over time. And the coal, I screen it so it's not really fine, so I don't have any leaking out. You have to use a little bit larger coal. So what we're going to do is adjust that one so it just barely touches, maybe just a slight 10-20 thousandths gap, and then close the door all the way. And you can see now we're going to take and slide this door in to get rid of the gap on this side. So I'm just going to kind of guess here. I'm just going to make the door go all the way up to 90 degrees again, and I'm just going to slide this piece in. I'm going to push the door one in a little bit farther here. And then I'm just going to keep checking those. So I got that pretty much perfect, so I got both doors on there. It's hard when you're using this with your finger to pull the doors totally tight. When the motor draws all the gear slack up, the doors will get a little tighter on the car. So just as long as they're both about equally gapped, once we put power to this, it should work out okay. So now I'm going to put the trucks on this. I'm going to plug the wires into our little plugs that we put on the car, and then we're going to take it over and give it a test. Okay, here's my new car sitting on the track, and I've got it so that the door motor is on the left side of the car, and then I'll end up putting the door opening lever on the right side of the car. You can see all the cars have the same setup. The motor's on this side, the door lever's on this side. That way I know that when I slide this car into this shed, the polarity will be correct. Now inside this unloading shed, what I've got is I've got a set of contacts. You can see them in here. I get something to push on them. Right here there's some wire contacts, and they sit up just slightly above the rails. I don't know if I can get down there low enough, but they're just enough above the rails that when a car comes through, you can see the Katy coupler spring just clears them there. So there's no interference, so it won't hook that. And I've got two wires on each side, and those are actually made from acoustic guitar strings. That would be the B string on an acoustic guitar. And they're phosphor bronze. I just bend them. They're long and they're springy, so there's no resistance pushing up on the car. And the reason why I have two on each end is so it guarantees me contact. One of those wires is going to make contact with those plates if those get dirty. To open the doors, I've just got this little panel I made here with just two buttons that they're basically wired so they change polarity. So when I push this one, the polarity is one way. When I push this one, the polarity is the other way. This little knob down here is just a voltage kind of adjustment knob that I used for testing until I found the optimum voltage, and it's usually actually less than a volt it takes to get these doors to move, but I left the knob in there because it's all wired up now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my car over, and I've also got that spot where the contacts are kind of long, so you don't have to have the car perfectly centered in there. So I've got the doors over the dump pit there. You can see the doors open good. I can take a little bit of voltage off that if I want to slow them down a little bit. Like that. So there we go. Hard part I think is done on the mechanics. Now we can start putting on some of the delicate details and finish this car up.